wasn't able to stay for the end of this, so it's going to be me to finish off. Hopefully everyone can get into the new stream nice and quickly while there is a safety car. As there, Jared has left now. So Matthew Alder, I said that he would pit, and he has. He's come out on fresh softs, easily going to win this race. There's no way. I mean, looking at Bran, how he's defended on those old hards. He's still on those old hards. He hasn't decided to pit. He's still sticking it out in P2. Matthews is actually pit, interestingly, for fresh softs. He's going to try and come back through this field. It's going to be very difficult though. Only a few laps left. If he stayed out, he certainly would have guaranteed himself a P2. I'm not really sure why Matthews pitted. Maybe he thought everyone behind him would pit, but even then, looking at how Brandon was able to defend so easily, I don't think it would have mattered. So Matthews kind of bottling a P2 there, down to P7. He's going to gain on pens. Most likely maximum he could get is P4. If he makes an overtake, maybe he can grab a P3. But that is at quite a stretch, so it's unfortunate for him to have pit. Obviously, in hindsight, it's better for him to not have pitted, but you just never know in the moment. If he didn't pit, maybe someone would come out on softs behind him and get him. As we come to finish lap 33, the safety car staying out for these last few laps. It looks like he'll most likely come in this lap now as everyone bunches up behind the safety car. Matthew weaving to warm up his tires. He'll be looking for a fastest lap. Right now, I am fairly sure that it's Lewis who has it. Yes, he does on a 10.0. Matthew having a 10.4. I'm sure Matthew's going to improve on that time by the end of this race, with 5-6 laps to go, including this one. Matthew just keeping it composed. He really doesn't need to push the car too much. With Brandon Glover behind him, he's not going to be getting a better start on those worn hard tires. It's actually a good thing for Bran to have these tires nice and kind of protected a little bit, as he actually gets a 5-second penalty for a severe collision with Pedro Sousa there in the hairpin. So both of them with 5 seconds. I'm actually going to check here. Yeah, Pedro has a 5-second pen, Bran has a 5-second pen, Patrick has a 3-second, so he could snatch a podium away from both of these guys if he can just stick within 2 seconds of Brandon Glover. I'm sure that will happen. If either of them gets a penalty removed, either one of their penalties removed out of Brandon and Pedro, we'll see by the end of this race. But right now, Patrick is in the hot seat to take this P3, and even Ollie Flavo actually. I kind of discounted him, but he's well within the seconds he needs to be. He just needs to be really within 5 seconds of Brandon. As long as Brandon's not passed by Patrick, Ollie Flavo will be able to take this P2 away from all of them. Matthew Alder even with a 5-second pen. I'm not really sure where he got that from. As the Alpha Tauri of Santeri Martikainen pits, as we actually restarted. I didn't notice that. It didn't really tell me safety car came in, but you can see 1.8 seconds between first and second, so really I don't think Ollie Flavo will be able to benefit from the pen that Matthew Alder got. It looks like he'll be able to run away with this now. Pedro Sousa right at the back of Brandon Glover. Into sector 2 we go now. Of course they won't be improving at all in their times. I'm sure Matthew Alder is improving on his time as they come through turn 6. Brandon Glover actually lagging a little bit. I'm pretty sure he's the host, so maybe that's just me. I apologise for that. Coming out of turn 8, all these cars just filing through a little kink of turn 9 underneath the tunnel, and now into the Novel chicane, an overtaking opportunity, but Pedro is not close enough right now, as Matthews was ahead of these guys. He's down in P8. He's not been able to make up any overtaking opportunities on the restart, as everyone kind of just follows in a single file as we're coming on to 36 out of 39. So 4 laps left for Matthew Alder, 4.9, 5 seconds even, the gap between first and second. So Matthew really just dominating this race. He's still, I don't think he's been passed at all this entire race. So he's going to actually get a Grand Slam with the fastest lap as well, which I think he must have taken by now. We'll check. He has 10.0. That's actually going to be really annoying for Lewis Curtis, who had a .054. Matthew improves on it and takes a .027, as I think that might be some fighting in the background. Felix getting past Matthews there, maybe. I'm pretty sure Matthews was down in P7, so Felix has actually made a move on him maybe in the hairpin, but Matthews might be able to come back here. He's going to close up into the Novo chicane. Felix moves to the inside to defend, and he's going to stay ahead. You can see how much more tire grip that Matthews has, but given this track, as we've seen this whole race, it's so difficult to make an overtake. As he cuts the corner a little bit, that may have been a warning, but he still doesn't have pens. He'll beat Felix on pens by the end of this race. We'll go back to the fight for P2, as Matthew Walder has a 9-second gap now, and he still has 3 laps to keep improving on that gap, so he's looking fine for this win. Doesn't look like anything will phase him. If you look at the track map on the bottom right of your screens, you can see how much of a gap that 10 seconds now is. He's going through turn 8. They're only entering turn 6 there. As a little bit of a touch there. No damage for Pedro, luckily for him, as we did see them collide earlier in the race in the hairpin under safety car conditions, and giving them both a 5-second pen. Patrick's still within that little window that he needs to take this off him, as Pedro's trying to go for a move there in the Novo chicane. It doesn't look like he's been able to make it work. Patrick moves out to the left to try and look for a move down the inside of Pedro, but thinks better of it. That left-hander, very, very awkward to be making moves. Turn 12, as a few more people enter the stream. So hello guys, hopefully you're doing well as we come on to this penultimate lap of this race. Actually, I say come on to the penultimate lap. These guys are. Matthew's 13 seconds ahead of these guys. So even with his 5-second pen, he's going to be so far away from this train now that Brandon's holding up. He's hanging on there for this P2. We'll see if penalties make a difference. Patrick right now in the hot seat to take P2 away. Ollie Flavel, we're going to have to actually get an interval here to try and see, get an idea of these gaps. But oh, Lewis Curtis has gone into the wall, into the hairpin. It looks like maybe he was trying to make a move on Ollie Flavel. I know he was ahead of Felix. He's got damage now, or maybe he was getting overtaken by Felix. I'm not really sure which way that was, but Lewis with damage now again. Just this race hasn't gone well for him, as he's going to be falling off this train now as he comes in. And he spins as well. A nail in the coffin there. He's really not going to be gaining anything more than 9 Santeri. Martikainen won't be catching him. He's a lap down on these guys. So Lewis just from bad to worse really, as it was looking good after that first safety car where we start being right behind Matthew. But we keep moving on to the final lap of this race now. We'll see Brandon Glover just ahead of Pedro. This is for track position regardless, even if both of them got their penalties removed or not. They're on the same amount of penalties right now, so it is for track position. As you see, 5 seconds, 5 seconds, 3 seconds, and then none for Ollie. So Ollie will just about snatch this P2 off Brandon Glover, and then Patrick will end up taking the P3. So right now it's looking like Matthew from Ollie from Patrick, as Brandon Glover and Pedro will be dropping down into 4th and 5th. Looks like Felix is a little too far off, as Matthews follows behind Felix, still trying to get his way around. But we're going to go on board as Matthew Walder. He's going to come across the line now. Dominant, a Grand Slam. He's taking pole position. He's taken the win of this race and fastest lap. Led every lap. Couldn't have gone better for him, as Brandon Glover is being pressured by Pedro Sousa into Rascas. It looks like he was trying to make a move there but couldn't make it work. Brandon Glover's going to keep P2 right now, but we'll see how penalties affects this. Coming across the line, Patrick's going to take P2, but then Ollie takes P2. As I said, Ollie was going to take P2 ahead of Patrick, so that's how they end up going, as Matthews jumps Felix. As I said earlier, Matthews taking that P6, he was going to jump Felix on penalties no matter what. Rocco actually jumps Felix as well, goes up into P7 with Felix P8, and Lewis Curtis, a stricken Lewis Curtis with no more wing either. He's going to come across the line to finish in P9 as he loses a tyre as well. Really not been a great day from him. Driver today, Patrick. I'm not really sure of his second name. But really, I would say Matthew Walder would take my driver of the day, leading every single lap, getting pole and win, no mistakes from the three-time champion, and he's showing why he deserves this fourth title, third in a row as well. He's taken the last two, but Matthew Walder, of course, then with the win ahead of Ollie Flavel, a very solid second from him. No pens, showing how crucial it is having no pens around this track. And it was Patrick who takes P3. And we'll continue from that. Brendan Glover dropping to P4. Pedro Sousa down to 5th. Just ahead of his Brazilian friend, I would say, both in BRT. Matthews in 6th. So Matthews really going to be losing quite a bit to Matthew Alder. The same at Rocco. Both of them were occupying 2nd and 3rd in the championship before. They're going to lose out by quite a lot there. Like, it's going to be like 13 and 15 points respectively, I think. Felix takes P8, Lewis Curtis takes P9, and then Santeri Makinen will just about be classified as a finisher, so he will pick up that final point position. And Logan Arund and Nino DNFing earlier in this race. Both of our safety cars, I think, were because of them. So I will get the top 3 in for interviews now. Of course, Jared wasn't able to stick around, but I am, so we will get interviews today. If my PlayStation would like to work. And there's Matthew. And there we go, we can hear Matthew now. If you're wondering where Jared is, he had to go last minute, so... And there's Ollie as well. So, just waiting on Patrick now. We'll see if he joins. Well, I guess we'll start with you anyway, Matthew, and we'll go down from there. Um, Obviously, you took pole, you took the win, led every lap, had the fastest lap as well, Grand Slam, no mistakes
I
either.
did not have the fastest lap.
Oh, you didn't?
I did
Well,
not get the fastest lap. Nah, Centauri took it.
oh, okay, well, my bad then. Almost a Grand Slam, but pretty much a perfected race. How was it from you?
Well, it was very good. I mean, Brown helped a good fair bit because he didn't pit in the first safety car when he should have really, because he would have held the same position, just been on mediums, but because he didn't, he was on the hards from very early on in the race, so he did help me build gaps both times, but I think my pace was the fastest today and I was probably the most consistent. I didn't get a piece of wing damage the entire time, which I have not done around Monaco in a long time.
Yeah, Jared was saying before we got going with the race that you had a tendency to get wing damage around here, but obviously today you didn't, and yeah, pretty much, as I said, a perfect race and my driver of the day as well. Next race is a track that we'll see a little bit more overtaking anyway, we'll say that much. France, one of your better tracks anyway, as I'm not sure how good Monaco was for you, but I know France is probably one of your best, if not your best track, so expecting a win?
Yeah, I mean, it's a track where my qualifying is most consistent and I'm always at the top, so I would consider it my best track, so yeah, anything less than a win for me will be a disappointment unless I get taken out of the win by something out of my control.
Well, congratulations on your win anyway, and good luck for next week.
Thank you.
And we move to Ollie then.
Hello.
Well, Ollie, I'm sure you'll be happy with that P2. Obviously, no pens proving to be really beneficial around Monaco, of course, with it being so hard to overtake. Brandon holding everyone up, and you came through for a P2 in the end, so pretty happy, I would assume?
Yeah, I was just trying to be conservative, trying not to get any wing damage. I got unlucky one lap. I think I just tapped the left side of the wall before Casino Square, just that a little bit. That's why I got my wing damage, but it wasn't the end of the world because I had a pit stop window back and it didn't really pay much dividends in my race. But yeah, I kept it clean and I had Felix letting Lewis through left, right, and centre, which I wasn't particularly pleased with when it should be a fair battle. Because they're not teammates, but they kept letting each other through, and I had to hold back Lewis. On the last lap, that was a bit funny, and we all had a bit of a giggle what happened to Lewis. But it was fair racing, and he just got unfortunate for making that mistake. And yeah, I just tried to play it safe, not try not to go into the back of anyone into the hairpin or into the corner before, because they kept crashing. But yeah, just being consistent, not getting penalties is the way to go.
Yeah, obviously it really paid off. Next week is France. Obviously a lot more opportunities to cut the track, but expecting good things around there. Of course, I think a few seasons back, I think it was season 7, you were close to taking the win off Matthew. You were fighting him right at the end, so maybe you could have a repeat.
Lucky, but those were just specific circumstances where I had the fresher tyres and those are safety cars. So yeah, those were very specific circumstances. I don't think we'll see that ever again. Beating Matthew was back in the olden days, back in 2016, but now what he's become now is an absolute alien. No chance I'm beating him unless something happens to him. So I don't expect anything, just low points is what I'm hoping for, really.
Well, congratulations on your P2 and good luck for next week all the same. We're going to get Bron in here And straight in as well, nice. So we'll just wait for him to load in. And there we go, we can hear Bran now. So, yeah, obviously Patrick didn't join, so you were forced, so you'll get the interview. You were also mentioning of maybe getting a penalty removed, Bran, but your race overall, apart from the pen, was pretty good. I mean, staying out on the hards for so long, holding them up, and you did it successfully, down to the last lap, so a good race.
Well, yeah, definitely a good race. If I get a podium in F1, that means I've done good. And I was a bit of a bust in that race, and but obviously, unfortunately, Faz at the back of me, which gave me a penalty, which shall get removed. So I shall get P2.
Yeah, do you want to kind of talk us through your race from your side? Like some battles, I know Matthews was quite close to you at some points, and same with Pedro as well.
Well, yeah, first lap I got a good start and I got past Lewis, which was good, put me in P2, and then obviously Matthew just went off. I wasn't getting anywhere near his pace. And yeah, Lewis, at that point it was pretty calm, no one was really going moves on me. Then Lewis pitted and got undercut, and he was going to pit again and do the 2-stop. And then the safety car came out, which helped him. And then the safety car restart, I was chilling in P3, and then Lewis bottled, so I was P2, but Mateus was putting me under a lot of pressure, and I was defending well. But on the main straight, I didn't realise how close he was. Didn't even look, and then he just went past me. So that's how he got past me. Didn't use my overtake or anything. So a bit stupid from me. Yeah, on the second safety car, he pitted. Don't know why he pitted. We pitted, put me back up to second, and then I had to do a bit of defending from Faz, who got a few decent runs on me, but I managed to keep him behind into the chicane. And it was just a shame for that 5 second, but I don't think that'll hinder me in the end. I guess move.
Yeah, I do have to ask though. In the first safety car, everyone behind you ended up pitting. You stayed out. Almost got to jump on Lewis Curtis as well to retake that P2 after he had undercut you.
Yeah.
Were you confident in those hards? Like from the first safety car, obviously the second safety car restart, most people stayed out anyway, so you were able to keep that P2 a little easier. But on the first one, with everyone pitting behind you, did you think you could keep that?
Well, I knew my pace would be rubbish, but I was in third, but I was pretty confident in my ability to keep them behind. Because it's Monaco, isn't it? And I can get a bit aggressive, maybe, just keep them behind. And I didn't pit because, if I pitted, maybe the guys behind me would have stayed out and I would have lost track position. So I just thought track position is obviously the most important thing in Monaco. And
of course, it worked out well, getting at least crossing the line in P2. We'll see if that penalty ends up getting removed. But next week is France. Not going to be as easy for you to be defending like you did today.
Yeah.
So, how do you think that could go?
Not well. I'll be back to normal. Scrapping for the points probably, if that. Monaco is probably one of my best tracks. So, plus with the strategy, I think that's what helped me today. But yeah, France, not going to be over there. I don't think. I'm not really good at France. Don't really like it. I know Matthew does, but he wouldn't let me hear in that. But yeah, I don't think I'll be any good.
I'll have you know, I actually don't like it. I'm disgusted.
Fair enough.
well then, yeah. Congratulations on wherever you end up finishing anyway, either P5 or P2, and good luck for next week. Of course, that will wrap up the stream, as the interviews has gone on a little long. Losing Jared near the end, he had to go to work, of course, so Yeah, that has been Monaco round 4 for F1. Hopefully you join us next week at France, and of course tomorrow as well for F2 and F3. Both championships looking quite close between both of them. So yeah, hopefully you join us then, and good night.